Namaskar. Welcome to Ancient Wisdom. Nitrogen or air for car tires is the question, and this question we are going to answer using the ancient method of PNE. There are two mediums which are used for cars or car tires. One is compressed air and the second is nitrogen. Compressed air costs almost nothing, whereas nitrogen is somewhat costly, in the sense it costs about 500 rupees for 4 tires. So should we use nitrogen? Should we not use nitrogen? Let's see first, using the PNE method, the three positives of using nitrogen. One, nitrogen is inert and it doesn't have any water vapor, so no corrosion. Second, nitrogen responds well to temperature differences. So the outside temperature becomes high or low, nitrogen temperature does not change much, or nitrogen does not have any effect on that. As a result of which, the nitrogen tire runs cooler, and also because there is no water vapor inside, even if the outside temperature drops, moisture is not formed inside. And third is that nitrogen runs cooler, so the tire runs cool. So over a long distance period where the temperature of tires increases, and that directly leads to wear and tear of the tire, nitrogen filled tires work much better by having cooler temperature and thus reducing the wear and tear. Now let us look at the three negatives of nitrogen. 1. It is costly, 500 times costly, because for 4 tires to be inflated, the air is free, whereas nitrogen costs. Second, once you fill in nitrogen, always nitrogen, because the moment you want to top up, you have to find a nitrogen pump. You cannot fill up air in that, otherwise one tire air, other tire nitrogens, the balancing would not be proper. So you are tying yourself to nitrogen once you fill up nitrogen. And third is, nitrogen pumps are not widely available. So you may fill up nitrogen in Mumbai, but as you go along on a countryside visit, you will have to fill in at some point of time regular air, and in that case when you come back, you have to remove all air from the tires and fill up nitrogen again. 3 negatives. Now let us look at the interesting part. Interesting part is, if nitrogen is so beneficial, why don't all car manufacturers give nitrogen or nitrogen filled tires to people? The reason is not scientific but economical and marketing. A car tire manufacturer has something to gain with nitrogen, but the car tire manufacturer hardly ever sells it to you. Whereas the car manufacturer has nothing to gain by putting nitrogen in the tire. On top of that, it is quite costly for him, because if he wants to fill up nitrogen in car tires, he has to have nitrogen installations all over the place and also at all his dealerships. Too costly, and on the other side does not give any economic or marketing benefit, because even if the tires wear or tear less, you are not going to go to the car manufacturer to buy tires, you will go to the car tire manufacturer to buy tires. So the car manufacturer has nothing to gain. Lastly, and very interesting argument here, air is anyway 78% nitrogen. So what are you gaining by putting another 12% of nitrogen? Why the halla? the interesting part is, what does that 12% contain? That 12% contains moisture, water vapor and other impurities. These 12%, they can react with the rims of the tires, and today when most of the tires are tubeless tires, if it is tube tire, the question of reaction doesn't come. But with tires which are tubeless, the rim can easily rust. Now with this, let us look at the applications where it is applicable. 1. Aircraft industry. The reason is clear. Aircraft industry tires run for short time but with very high resistance at the time of takeoff or landing, and that is the time temperature regulation is crucial. So nitrogen. Secondly, the tire burst, if it happens at time of landing or taking off, nitrogen is completely inert, so it will not aid fire in any case. Air may, because air has oxygen. Second is long distance fleet carriers. In case of fleets, the vehicles go almost 1,000 kilometers a day, and the continuous run is there where the cars or the tires can become hotter and the wear and tear is substantial. They use nitrogen, and in their case the filling stations are fixed, maintenance schedule is strict, so they don't have any problem in terms of cost, or in fact whatever the cost involved in nitrogen filling is recouped in less wear and tear. And lastly, long distance bus operators. Same reason as fleet, they operate on long distances, continue to travel at long distances for long time continuously, so the temperature variation needs to be controlled. Also, they travel from very hot areas to very cold areas in the same day sometimes. So in that case, nitrogen works much better than just the compressed air. So now we have seen the positive, negative and interesting facts about nitrogen in car tire using the ancient method of P&E. Now you decide for yourself whether you want nitrogen in your tire or compressed air. Namaskar.